By the reading of experts, this year's rainy season may be bidding its farewell already. But the impact of the 2022 rainy season cannot be forgotten in a hurry. The impact adversely felt in parts of the country has created a ripple effect on the country's economy. Beyond submerging houses and properties, destruction of farmlands and other basic infrastructure, it has also affected the movement of petroleum products to parts of the country, especially the Federal Capital Territory. Reasons not far-fetched. It is the bridge submergence by the flood at Lokoja, Kogi State, which you can see on your screen, and that used to be the major route for movements of fuel tankers to other parts of the country. However, some level of relief in that axis movements a little bit restored. The fuel queues still persist, with the prices on the rise once more, especially by black marketers who are cautioning on this situation. This therefore bringing up some questions of whether the flood at Kogi State is really the cause of a resurfaced queues and what measures are being put in place to salvage the situation. These are some of the questions begging for answers on today's edition of Nigeria Today. Welcome to it. My name is Muspa and Wahab. The program will return in just a moment. Thanks a lot for staying with us on Nigeria Today on NTA News 24, coming to you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. Now, joining me via Zoom to discuss the topic resurfaced fuel queues is Jide Ojo, a public affairs analyst. Thanks a lot for joining us, Jide.
My pleasure. Good evening, Nigerians. Good evening, Musbah.
Right, I can see you are a fellow chief tonight, a red cap chief at that. What a coincidence. And now to join us later subsequently is the National Secretary, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association, Umaku Babakano, who will be joining us any moment from now. Jide, you could not make it into the studio, apparently because of the fuel scarcity. How have you received this resurfaced fuel scarcity again in the Federal Capital Territory?
Thank you, Musbah. Ab initio, I thought the queue was, the scarcity actually was as a result of the October 1 holiday, because it started about a week ago. You recall that the federal government of Nigeria declared Monday, the 3rd of October rather, as public holiday. So I thought maybe it has to do with public holiday. But by Tuesday, when work resumed last week, it became very obvious that it's not as a result of holiday. And of course, news went agog that many of the tanker drivers that went to pick fuel from the southwest, from Lagos and other southwest states, could not make it into Abuja by virtue of what you have said in the background, which is the blockage of the linkage road between north and south in Lokoja as a result of the flooding. Quite unfortunately so, because now we need to start thinking of alternate routes. It's not only petroleum products that has been impacted negatively. Even commuting travelers who have had to, who are going to the southern Nigeria have had to take a detour. According to Federal Road Safety Commission, people are advised if you are going to southwest, you have to go through Mokwa, Jeba, Bida, Ilorin, Yenkoni, down to Bomosho, Ibadan, Lagos. And if you are going to the southeast, you have to make a detour through, Nasarawa, Benue, that's Makodi, Otupo, Otupa, axis down to Boluafo, Yusuka, then Enugu. So this has called untold hardship on Nigerians because of the flooding. Recall that close to 400 lives have been lost to this flooding this year. Property worth billions of naira have been destroyed, and a lot of people in the neighborhood of 1 million are already internally displaced. So petroleum product destruction is just one out of the several havoc that the seasonal rainfall for this year have disrupted. Unfortunately, if the pipelines were not vandalized and products, petroleum products are transported through the pipelines, maybe what we are experiencing now will not have happened, because if the pipelines were not sabotaged, there is already a pipeline from Lagos Apapa Port down to Kaduna, and from there it serves Abuja, Kaduna, and the entire northwest region of Nigeria. But because of activities of saboteurs, economic saboteurs who have breached the pipelines at different points, recall that Minister of Information and Culture some time ago said an average of 20 billion is annually spent to repair vandalized pipelines. Had it been that these pipelines were not vandalized, it would have been easy to pipe or to transport the products through the pipelines down to Suleja and Kaduna, and that would have been easier for trucks to pick their products in the northern Nigeria, and that would not have led to this untold hardship that we are currently experiencing.
Very much, Jide, for this introduction that you have done. Now, apart from this, the blockade of that road, Lokoja axis, and then the pipeline vandalism you talked about, now that the road has been opened, vehicles are beginning to ply this same road we have talked about. What else do you think we don't know about this? Because yet the kills that were attributed or was said to have been occasioned by this flood on that road has been receding, as it were, but we're still experiencing a few kills around town in the Federal Capital Territory. Are there other things you think we don't know?
Well, the other thing that could have warranted this sustained scarcity of petroleum products is activities of saboteurs that I've earlier alluded to. Don't forget that these people, they cash in on every opportunity to make super profits. So even when the road has been opened, the water has receded, and trucks can now come in unfettered into the FCT. And these people will create what is called artificial scarcity. And by that, they will hoard product. While in as far as the products are hoarded, people will have to pay premium amounts to be able to access these very essential petroleum products. And that is what, again, could have led to this sustained issue of fuel scarcity. And it's not only fuel that is now scarce, even food. There is now food scarcity. Products, goods, foodstuffs that are going to southern Nigeria could not make it because of also activities, because of the flood, which has led to the vehicles, the articulated vehicles, not being able to make headway down south. Alternatively, apart from the pipeline that I mentioned earlier on, if our rail line had been okay, these products and goods, apart from petroleum products, could have been transported via rail. Our railway has the capacity to transport virtually everything, all manner of cargoes, whether you're talking of cattle or you are talking of perishable food items, grains, petroleum products, water, anything you want to move from point A to point B. If there is an efficient railway system in Nigeria, it will have been easier to have that as an alternative source of transportation to this blocked road. That's provided again that the rail lines themselves are not flooded, that the flood does not also damage portion of the rail line. But long story short, back to your question, I think what is happening now is activities of nature and man-made sabotage. Man-made sabotage in terms of hoarding of these petroleum products, in terms of wanting to make super profit and thereby creating artificial scarcity, and man-made in terms of breaching of the pipelines to ensure that products could not be transported through these pipelines. And of course, nature in terms of the flooding that has also washed away many of our roads and also caused the blockade that we have witnessed in the Lokoja, Abuja Lokoja axis.
For establishing this, you talked about nature and then man-made sabotage that's are apparently being perpetrated by marketers or owners of fuel stations now. When we understand that nature cannot be addressed immediately, we have to wait for the water level to decrease, decline, but that of man-made should be handled with what you've seen so far. I mean, a lot of people in Abuja, motorists, road users, have been witnessing this for weeks. And at a time, they were happy that the situation was changing for better before this flooding situation happened again. How do you describe the handling of these people who you describe as saboteurs in this situation now?
Now, the economic saboteurs are very well known. They live amongst us. And what one will have expected is that given the enormous capacity of Nigerian state to deal with issue of economic sabotage, the masterminds and the arrowheads of all these acts of sabotage should have been fished out and prosecuted. Unfortunately, we are not seeing much of that. I've queried in the past, how could Nigerian government be spending 20 billion annually to repair vandalized pipelines? I mean, does that make sense? 20 billion every year repairing vandalized pipelines, and yet the products are no longer being able. I mean, we've seen efforts at some of the non-state actors in the Niger Delta region who have been able to discover many of the oil pipelines that have been breached, where ocean vessels have been. One was recently arrested and set on fire a few days ago, and as you go, all the territories that these pipelines pass through, people, economic saboteurs, unpatriotic and undesirable elements usually find a way to breach these pipelines and siphon whether refined petroleum products or crude oil, for their own personal aggrandizement. So it behoves the state's institution of coercion, like the police, the navy, the civil defense, the DSS, the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Air Force, and also other military and paramilitary institutions of state to get these saboteurs arrested and prosecuted. I really would like NNPC to monitor the discharge of petroleum products into Abuja and the environment. Now that information has it that the blockade in Lokoja has been removed, water has receded, trucks are now coming into town.
All right, Jide, thanks a lot for this you've established so far. But let's quickly take a break, and we have some more to talk about on this very important issue when we return.
I've been struggling and fighting to get to the filling station, and it's not getting better. How is it better? Our trailers started coming from Lokoja? No. Government are not providing any alternative. So what else we do? We have to struggle. Government should be proactive. That's what I've been talking about. Government should be proactive. This rain that has come and cut off Abuja is not a new thing. It's what you have always experienced in Nigeria. They don't think ahead of time. So going forward, I think they should be able to think well and provide for the masses so that we'll not have problems like this in the nearest future.
I've been in the queue for more than 3 hours. It's not getting better, it's getting worse. Because I've been here, left my office since around 1 o'clock, and I'm here for the past 3 hours and the fuel is not here. You know, this crisis, it happened 12 years back. That's in 2012, that's 10 years back. Something should have happened. Something should have been done to avert this kind of crisis, and it has not been done. So, and we're here again, and if care is not taken, it will happen again and again and again.
The government should always be proactive. They know about, they're already aware of the flood, year in, year out. So the best thing any government will do is to see how they can raise either the bridge or any other alternative.
No, some filling stations are not selling yesterday, but today some of those filling stations are selling. I was on my way to airport yesterday. I discovered that so many filling stations did not sell, but most of those filling stations are now selling. So let's trust God that it's reducing.
We're used to this kind of situation because we Nigerians now, we believe in this kind of situation that tomorrow you have fuel, today you don't have fuel.
All right, thus filling the pulse of motorists in the Federal Capital Territory, some of those who actually spend hours at filling stations trying to get that very important commodity, petrol, that we also call PMS. Now, joining us in the studio is the National Secretary, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association, Umar Babakano. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you very much.
All right, we have Jide Ojo still on the line via Zoom, but Babakano, let me quickly come to you. Now, we've seen some relief talking about the flood, the flooding that has been disturbing movement of cars or vehicular movement, to say, along Lokoja axis. But yet, in the Federal Capital Territory, we're still experiencing fuel kills that was actually attributed earlier to this situation in Lokoja. What more don't we know?
Yeah, you know, the system generally, it's a supply chain. Whenever you have a vacuum, you need some time to like double up and then make sure you fill up the vacuum. And moreover, a tanker truck is not maybe like a small vehicle, so to say. A tanker truck needs a very ample space, ample place to like maneuver and take it up. And moreover, even the, as you said, the vehicular movement that have started is very, very scanty, so to say.
Oh, okay.
Because you cannot take a vehicle that is loaded with a laden truck loaded with 45, 50,000, 60,000 liters to start saying you maneuver between some places. So that's the situation for now.
All right, I agree with you that you have to take things easy, safety caution, or you want to say, to avoid what we did not expect, actually. Now, talking about the pipeline movement of petroleum products from one port to the other in the country, what has happened to the Suleja depot? If we may ask.
That's not a problem that happened today, yesterday.
What about it?
The thing is that the pipelines are already all having problems here and there, and this was there on ground for quite a long time. and the things that repairs and so many things have not taken place in that respect. So that's why we solely rely on trucks to transport these products. So this is why whenever you have such situations, it becomes something that that gets out of hand, simply because you doesn't have that system that is hassle free, because pipeline is the easiest, the cheapest, and the most reliable way of transporting products.
Okay.
But yet it doesn't have, essentially, as at now, we virtually have close to no line that is fully functional.
Right, as we speak, no any line functional. Feelers have it that some tankers are usually at Suleja depot. What's really are they doing there?
Tankers, as in trucks or what?
Trucks, yes.
Yeah, that's it. They transport the products from the riverine areas, as in from the ports down to the hinterland. That's to Suleja. Not only Suleja, you have some in Suleja, some in Gusau, some in Yola, all these depots. But the major way of transporting products now is only by tankers. So that's why you always have tankers, as you are saying. Now I know we have some trucks that are stocked in Lokoja for over 12 days. Which normally takes us 2 days to deliver, and some that even went back through, because there are some roads that are virtually immotorable. So it is the Lokoja road that was motorable before now, and now because of this flood, it has also become virtually blocked.
All right, as a body, Hipman now, what arrangement or what collaboration are you having with the agencies of government, talking about the NNPC Limited now, to ensure that these pipelines are fixed to ensure movement of petroleum products? Or does it mean that it's more beneficial to you to transport by road?
Not really. The thing is that we also prefer the transporting by pipeline. Because, for example, I can recall before the latest increment in haulage bills, I know from Suleja to, from Lagos to Suleja, they pay us 13 naira 49 kobo, which we travel over 780 kilometers or so. But from Suleja to Abuja metropolis here, that is less than 50 kilometers, they pay us about 4 naira. So it's even more better for us. For them to transport it by pipelines, then we come and just pick it at 50 kilometers. We take our 4 naira, which is more easier, risk-free, all these kind of things. We as marketers, the turnover matters a lot to us, because maybe somebody who has maybe a capacity of taking only 2 trailers in this situation, just imagine. Maybe both the 2 trailers might even be in the hold-up.
So how are you taking this up with the NNPC?
Yeah, we are having some discussions with them, even though it's too early for you to say, okay, fine, they must have to do some things here, because the present executives of the NNPC have also made some things of such a nature on ground. So they also need some time maybe to do some things, even though it's too early to say anything for now. But they know, and we are getting across to them to see how they can be able to replace all those pipelines and the rest, in order to make things more smooth.
Any hope in sight?
That's what I'm saying. For now, it's too early to say. But for now, there is nothing on site for now.
All right, Jide Ojo, you've just listened to the National Secretary of IPMAN, that's Omar Babakano. What do you suggest, or what do you put forward to be done at this point in time? Because this is just an example of what might be happening in future.
Before Madam came on board, we can no longer tolerate the breaching of pipelines. Like he said, pipelines remains the easiest, cheapest, and most efficient way of transporting these highly inflammable products. And if they are breached consistently, how could a country tolerate this level of impunity, of losing as much as depending on the figures of who you want to take, whether 400,000 barrels per day or 1 million barrels per day? This is a lot of economic leakages. We need to deal decisively with those who are engaging in this economic sabotage against the country, and so that we can have seamless and smooth transportation of these petroleum products. Alternative, because we don't know, like some of those people in the Vox Pop said, we face this perennial problem of flooding along the local Abuja axis, year in, year out, with the worst being in 2012, 10 years ago. What has happened? How do we prevent this in the nearest future? I hope this time next year we'll still not be crying the same way we are lamenting now. So it's for the government to up the ante and deal decisively with those who are breaching the pipeline, so that these products can be transported seamlessly. From the port to the hinterland.
All right, that's the word seamless. That's what people actually expect now. Umar Babakano, very quickly, what do you do as a body to those members of IPMAN that seem to be sabotaging it for sometimes, creating artificial scarcity in less than 10 seconds?
You know, generally everywhere there are bad eggs, but I see this as the smallest portion, maybe 0.001%, which you cannot avoid anywhere you have bad eggs. So, but the things that all those that we encounter, or maybe we hold responsible for this kind of things, we take drastic actions on them by delisting their names, reporting them to the authorities. Moreover, most of them that we normally come across, they are not even marketers. They just maybe built an illegal fuel outlet, not even fuel station. You see, very, very dilapidated, and they call it stations. Most of them are not marketers. And the thing is that for us, IPMAN, we have always been there supporting the government to make sure things come at ease.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We hope that something drastic will be done to get this pain of the motorists and, of course, people in the Federal Capital Territory. I want to sincerely appreciate you, the National Secretary, IPMAN, Umar Babakano, as well as Jide Ojo, a public affairs analyst who have been part of this program. Thanks a lot. Nigeria Today will return same time tomorrow on NTA News 24.